Hello. Good. Do a Rich Hagon impression. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you are in the world. It's time for some magic. All right. I'm gonna do some Steam Showdown decks in a minute, but I've been working. I'm always working. I try new decks every day. I tweak every day, which is why any deck list you get from me is probably out of date about a day after I post it. But I've been working on a Sultai Aristocrats deck because I never really stop working on it. I love this deck. I have a really hard time because it does have some bad matchups and it is a bit rough, and I've been trying to find the build because I just know like this and this are so good, and this are so much fun. So I work on it and I work on it, I work on it. And this is what I've got going right now, and I want to take it out and try it. So I don't love bone splinters, but I think you need it. Something has to kind of help you control the board. Jace doesn't do a lot in this deck other than flashback bone splinters and loot away your mana clumps, but that is important. Elvish Visionary, I don't know if I like, but I think drawing through your deck and getting your combo put together is important. Sky Spawner's done better than I would expect, and Bounding Krasis is kind of a new fish on the block. Look at those dance moves. He's got the right stuff, baby. Alright. And he comes out and does his little tap or untap dance, new fish on the block style. And so, Drowner of Hope is just pretty awesome, and something else you can get with From Beyond. And the weird thing about this build is I took out all of the stuff that I never would have taken out before. I took out Blister Pod, kind of the 2-for-1 sack outlets, because I mean they just don't do anything if you don't really have a husk or some way to make good use of them. So they're taking some time on the rails to see if the deck does better without them. So no Blister Pod and no Carrier Thrall, which, like I said, might be wrong. I've never tried the deck without them because I like them so much, and I thought they had to be in there, but we still have 28 creatures. We still have a lot to sack. So, we're going to question our assumptions about what's important in the deck, like Carrier Thrall and Blister Pod, and we're going to take it out and see how we do. Play against some randos and get it going. So, it's pretty early for me to be on. I'm not usually on this hour. It's 11:30 in the morning on a Friday. Friday is kind of my work if I want to, don't work if I want to day. If I do all the things I need to do during the week, I don't necessarily have to work on Friday. And I find a huge amount of what I do is email, and I find people just don't even reply on Fridays. They don't even read it till Monday anyway. So what's the point? So that's kind of what I learned. I've been doing this type of work for about 5 years, and I just learned nobody even bothers with doing their email on Friday, or at least replying to it or taking any action involving it. If it's any actual ask, if it's any real request, they just save it till Monday anyway. Maybe not everybody, but so many of the people I work with anyhow. So I don't bother. Why fight the current? You're not gonna win. I could bang my head against a keyboard for a few hours, but they're not gonna do anything till Monday anyway. So may as well play some Magic instead. I like that idea. How about that idea? Yep. And do we have an opponent? We got an opponent. Let's do this. There's somebody else, let's see, they are on, they're streaming duels right now. And again, I'm not usually on this hour, and they are MTGRU, and they've got 18 viewers over there watching them play what appears to be Turbo Fog. That's interesting. I've never seen this person. If he or she is a popular streamer, I'm interested to see this person. It looks like it's in a different language. May be challenging for me to follow along. This is a good hand. Until I started streaming myself, I would often play and watch other streams at the exact same time. Very common behavior on my part. Get that into play because we don't know what will peel off the top. The deck is a little mana greedy. It needs double black, it needs double blue, it prefers double green because you really need multiple green sources with your Evo Leap. So we need to draw into another black. But I think that's pretty doable. And we don't have any double black stuff yet. Hey, speak of this particular little devil. Yeah, it's definitely a visionary turn, just thinking if there's anything I need to figure out how to sequence with my land. Draw that card. Oh, look at that. That's a nice hand. It doesn't have a husk yet, but we've got a Evo Leap. That'll get some things done. Yeah, I can't watch that other guy's stream. It lags out a lot for me. But he's got a lot of viewers. Good for him. Oh, I'm not on my Wi-Fi. That might be part of the problem. Get my Wi-Fi on. So, looks like we're up against Ingest, which has never been a strategy I've fawned over at any point in my life. I don't know why they made that mechanic. I guess they can't all be good is the only thing I can think of saying. I think it's a pretty sore mechanic. All these duels come into play untapped, and I don't think he's going to blow up my lands anytime soon. Yeah, we'll spawn some Sky. And this deck also doesn't behave like something that's going to languish us or rising miasma us anytime soon. Could be wrong about that, but when they're going turn 1 creature, turn 2 creature, I think we can assume that we can get wide on them. So our strategy in this game is going to be to play on curve. So we've so far done Visionary Skysmar. Next turn we can do Whirly Rogue. And then after that, maybe we'll drop the Crassus. Maybe we'll save it because we may have to pause some big thing like a Guardian of Tazim or something like that. And we'll get out Evo Leap and we'll start buzzing through our deck. We'll sacrifice our little tokens to get better and more active cards. And eventually we'll get to the really good stuff and we'll grind them out. Blue-black decks just don't have ways to deal with enchantments, so nothing wrong with playing the grind game in this case. So we'll get a wide board that's hard to attack into, then we'll play grind, grind, grind. Hey, speaking of getting a wide board. And this is, so this game's interesting. I think a lot of people are still kind of figuring out how to put how good the Tango lands go with the untapped lands, and that may sound crazy if you've been on this from day one. It's something that I certainly was on from day one because of my experiences in Standard. But if you're gonna put like battle lands and Tango lands together, like our one battle land that we played on turn 1, tapped, has allowed us to play all these untapped Tango lands. And it's kind of a cool collage. Like, it's the dream. Right now we have all the colors. We've played 3 untapped dual lands in a row, which is, you know, duels nirvana. I remember when we didn't have any dual lands whatsoever in duels. I think he just wants to cycle a card. I am fine with that. Much rather that than the Ingest. Salvage Drone is a card I have played in a lot of my Aristocrats builds, just trying that out, and eventually it's not worth a card. A 1/1 is so often just doesn't make the cut, and he don't make the cut, doesn't do enough. There's no guarantees that cycling a card does anything good for you, or that you'll keep the card you drew. Okay, so we are rocking and rolling, and now the question is, do we need to put more on the board? He didn't play a creature last turn, left mana up, did run his Salvage Drone in, so maybe there is something like Languish in the deck, and if there's something like that, we want to just get this out on the board so that we get some value off our creatures in case of a Languish. As far as attacking, maybe he'll want to trade for the Whirler Rogue? Maybe he'll want to trade for the Sky Spawner? But let's find out. I think we can find out. I'm not very worried about leaving things back to block because new fish on the block might be able to help us out. and he's going to take the damage, so firmly in control, but it's another sign that he might be getting ready to just wipe the board with a Languish. Although if that were the case, I'm wrong. If that were the case, he'd block. So it's more of a sign that he doesn't want to. So depending what he does this turn, we'll decide at the end of turn whether we want to grind it up with Evo Leap or whether we want to play Crassus and go for the beatdown, go for the jugular. Okay. Okay. So we could force him to use up his mana. If he pays... Yeah, that's what we're going to do. New Crassus on the block is going to try to tap down his Intruder and block his Sludge Crawler. And if he double pumps Sludge Crawler, he used all his mana. And then we just have no problem charging in, and we got the trade. All good things. Also, if he wants to counter this or kill it or do anything about it, he doesn't have mana to use his Sludge Crawler. Okay, he's going to 3/3. No problem there. Now, we also have the option of chump blocking and then attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. And then he's at 6. And he's got, like, nothing. I think that's really good. So I don't think I have to take a trade here. I think I can just feed him a visionary. Here you go. Bon appetit, Sludgy. We already he spent the mana earlier than he had to, so we're gonna punish him for that because he assumed he was going to be tangling with Sludge Crawler, but we say nope, not gonna happen, not today. We're gonna put your life total in jeopardy instead. Bam. And what's the play? I think it's Whirl-a-Rogue with green mana open for Evo Leap if all goes south. That's the idea. And that'll do. So the deck generates a wide board pretty darn fast, which is, you know, one of the things that decks like Thopters and Elves do that puts pressure. Now, we don't have Lords in this deck like Thopters and Elves do. Our version of the Lord is the Nantuko Husk, which is why this deck isn't very good against Thopters and Elves, which is one thing that kind of holds it back. And I really have, I've looked far and wide for solutions to that. I've played a version with Languish and Rising Miasma that's more of a control deck. You know, I try. Because I love this deck, and I just want it to be beautiful and amazing always. Alright, he's got Sower, don't care. You got no value off that Sower. Well, he got 2 lands, but he didn't get like extra exiled stuff. So he's at 6, so we attack with everything. He block, block, block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he's dead. And, you know, gravy. Going super wide in this format does some super cool stuff. It's really hard to deal with. Control decks can't really deal with it. Kind of slow fair decks have a really hard time dealing with it. And it's one of the only ways to compete with ramp. It doesn't always beat ramp, but at least it competes with ramp. It's also good against red aggro, which, you know, if you can get wide on red aggro, they're going to have a hard time getting their damage through, since there's not enough burn, typically, to just roast you out. They have to get through with a certain amount of creature damage. And you can shut all that down by getting really wide. Let's go, buddy. Make your blocks. And then we'll watch some damage effects together. It'll be like a bad movie. Ah, there we go. There we go. Remember that time the Whirl-a-Rogue did 2 damage, and the Thopter did 1, 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 and the Whirl-a-Rogue did 2 more. Oh, that time was so intense. Hey, rank 40, we made it all the way back. I've been amazed. The Steam folks and I might make some Steam people angry, but you know, I love you Steam guys. I really do. You guys try really hard, and then you also think that it's really hard on Steam, and you know, it's probably harder. I mean, I don't deny I play against a lot of bad opponents over here, but my rank has suffered from running some of the decks that the Steam players registered for the Steam Showdown. And considering that I've lost to some pretty nasty, like rank 1 through 5 Xbox One decks with the Steam builds, makes me giggle. I'm sure it was all pilot error. I just don't understand the intricacies of those Steam builds. The subtle things that only rank 40 Steam understands. Oh, goodness. I hope you all don't mind me goofing around that way. I'm not Southern either. I just sprinkle in words like y'all sometimes. I don't know why. And howdy. I think I got that from my mom. We are in rural areas, and I don't know if howdy is as southern as it is rural, and I got that from my mom, so I use that sometimes. I would love to kind of get a more established what is best on all platforms, but the thing that holds duels back from really figuring out what the very best version of duels is the fact that we're playing for fun and people just play what they like instead of necessarily playing to win. In competitive Magic, people are there is a big prize at the top. You know, there's the Pro Tour, there's the respect that comes from success at Grand Prix and Pro Tours, and so people do strive to get there, and they're willing to play decks that they may not love to get there, like Abzan and 4-Color Rally, and Control when Control's good, Aggro when Aggro's good. Eldrazi is a perfectly good example in Modern. When there's a Pro Tour and there's thousands of dollars on the line, you may not like playing Eldrazi, but you will buckle down and play Eldrazi if you're going to get paid. Now, there's no big payoff here in duels. We kind of play what we want. So even when something is really good, it doesn't get played as much as it probably should. It gets played, you know, a bit. It might get played more than, say, decks that are really bad right now, like blue-black compared to red-green ramp. But it's still, people are still mostly going to play what they like and what they love to play, and that's cool. You know, it's a beginner product. It's a for fun product. There are no cash prizes in this. Those of us who try too hard to figure out the best decks, that's kind of just us doing our try-hardy thing, and that's me doing my try-hardy thing, and that's okay. That's all right. Whatever gets more people playing Magic. And let's see if our opponent is tryharding some red-green ramp gruel stuff. So far we've had Perilous Mirror, which is an interesting inclusion, but you saw it a lot more in Origins. And we've got Gatecreeper Vine, which is pretty standard. So, what are we going to do next? I don't want to play like a blind husk, I don't think. Red burn spells will just kill it. I'm hesitant to play Perilous Mirror. I think, and I'm also hesitant to play Evolutionary Leap because Reclamation Sage is in the starter box, so we could have that. So all of these are about picking your poison. I think I'm going to pick the Mirror in case he has the Sage, and I might get him to use it on the Mirror. It also lets me get a tapped land into play this turn, possibly giving me more mana efficiency in the future. It's one of those cases where you can't really play around everything, but we'll at least give him an opportunity to make a mistake. Okay, there's a Kurita Chieftain. Hello. So that'll pair up interestingly against our Husk and our Mirrors. And I don't know if we're playing Moss. He missed his opportunity to Moss me, so I think we can start dropping these kind of lands. And we'll give him one of each target. Green, green, black, 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 green. Okay. And we'll go like that. See what he wants to do with that monkey. if he attacks and has no frills, we can trade for it even if he pumps it. But I don't know if we want to trade for it. I think he's well ahead, and he probably has other big threats in there, but we have kind of a big card too, and we have a grind card, so we might be in the control seat. It's kind of hard to tell. This is one of those games that's very iffy. Are we the control? Are we the beatdown? Our opponents kind of got the initiative. They went first, and they have the first big creature. We have a comparable board that can keep up, but oh, hey, there you go. 2 for 1. Let's see. It's fights, right? So we can go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, let's do it. So we're going to take the, especially now that we're pretty much forced into it, we're going to play some control. Hello, I'm trying to use my perilous mirror, thank you. I feel like I have to ask this game for permission lately. It's been so laggy. I don't know. There was that, I think there was a server update or something, but ever since then my game just lags up a lot when I'm trying to do things. Card availability in duels is much more of an issue than like if I were to go to an FNM or a tournament. Obviously, anybody who enrolls in those kind of things, card availability probably isn't an issue. And when you play duels, card availability certainly can be an issue. Most people don't unlock everything for some time. And I'd like to think that we could, keep growing the player base, so every time I saw a new player, it meant soon we'd have an experienced player, but I think this version of duels is struggling at the job of keeping players. I just don't see that. So, this is an interesting turn. I think we'll put off doing our rogue shenanigans, and or our leap shenanigans, and I think we'll seize the initiative with Whirler Rogue and make him play something. So we can probably get some hits in if he doesn't have an answer. And we always can start the evolutionary leap train later. But, on an empty board, like I keep saying, it's hard to tell if we're the control or the beatdown, but if we're going to get into a situation where he doesn't have a threat, let's just put out our threat and see what he does. And this is what he does. Green Warden. Pretty good card right here. We might have to grind to catch up with it. And he's going to get back Herd Chieftain. So yeah, it's gonna be a slog. We're gonna just have to start throwing big monsters at each other. 5, 4, 1, 2. So I think this is a Drowner turn, which means we can get in there with our Thopters. And he's tapped out. Now this is part of the mind games. Obviously correct sequencing, if he had choices to make, would be to attack with the Thopters, then play your land, then play your Drowner, so that he didn't have information during the attack step. But I'm going to make him think I'm a bad player by just playing all this stuff ahead of time, since he can't block or do anything with this tapped out mana anyway. So we're kind of playing a mind game that next time he might think that we play stuff pre-combat if we have it, and he might assume we have nothing if we just go straight to combat. So, little next level that I don't often bother with in duels, but I'm feeling, I don't know, I'm feeling tricksy today, I guess. So, here we go. As far as will I tap down Green Warden? I don't think so. If he wants to attack with Green Warden, we can just chump it. Although he could have Wild Size. We've already seen Wild Instincts. He could have other ways to give it Trample. So if we're going to trade a token for the Green Warden anyway, the tap down is probably safer. Yeah, that makes sense. Glad we thought about it in depth. Here's the Chieftain again. And we'll do the tap down. There's that lag. Love it. Love my lag lately. And we'll again try to seize initiative here. Now, one good question is, do I want to attack with my Whirler Rogue, have him block it with Chieftain, and trade Whirler Rogue and Perilous Mirror through Evo Leap for a Chieftain. I think I do, because we want to get rid of that trample ability. So that's what the plan is. You. Wanna block something? Yes, he does, but he's not gonna put his Chieftain in harm's way. Don't blame him there. So, since that didn't happen, I think the rest of our turn is getting Leap out, and let's fetch now, because knowing what's on the bottom of our deck might be helpful. Let's make it black. No. Let's make it green since we've got Leap going. We've got plenty of green sources, but may as well make sure we have extras if all is going well. Do I want to get the mirror into this? It does complicate his blocks quite a bit, but I do like it as a surprise too, and this gives us another Scion to tap things with Drowners, so that's where I'm going. And your turn. Big turn for him. If we're going to do this either way, we may as well tap it before the attacks. Although I could let him have... I can let him have a Chieftain attack. Again, we're still kind of tempting him to block it so that we can trade it with Mirror, although that doesn't work if he has 5 open mana. But if he passes the turn with 5 open mana, we can just tap him down anyway. So if he taps his mana, we'll probably try to trade it with Mirror again, and if he doesn't, we'll tap him down with Drowner. Alrighty. 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's go for it. Alright, took that one down. So we are playing, it's a Sultai Aristocrats deck. It is an Nantuko Husk deck, but it's more focused on the... I would say it's more focused on playing quality creatures than it is on having Nantuko Husk. And, like, husking for 20. It still has about 28... It has 28 creatures. And it has a lot of kind of value creatures, Elvish Visionary, Sky Spawner. It has the Whirler Rogue Husk combo, but it actually does okay if you don't draw Husk, like we didn't draw Husk that game. It still gets a lot of value just from playing Evil Leap, Drowner of Hope, as Bounding Crassus, which can mess with the opponents pretty well. And it has a pretty good card quality for a creature deck. It doesn't use... what we're trying to figure out if we have to have Carrier Thrall and Blister Pod for the deck to work. I'm starting to think that those might be the types of filler cards that don't do much in several matchups. But you gotta test your assumptions. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to test that assumption. Do we need Blister Pods? Because I think that the best things to play in a sack deck, yeah, Elvish Visionary obviously gets you another card, so it's already it's a card with a benefit. And then the Perilous Mirror is just like, people who don't include that in an Aristocrats type, Nantuko Husk type deck are pretty crazy, because that card is... That's where the real gravy is. I don't know how many times I've won games firing off Perilous Mirrors. So we've got our colors, we got double black for Lily, we've got a control spell. The only problem is the hand's a little slow, but we're on the play, so that's alright. Alright, a little slow, and we've got goblins. Goblins in the house. Great. That's what happens when you keep a slow hand, everybody. But this will be interesting. The big question mark, are they going to play the aura? Do we have the infectious bloodlust or the call of the full moon? What do you got? He's got the mage ring. Okay. I might be able to deal with that. And now he's all renown. Yes, we know who you are, Mr. Goblin. Here's the red carpet. Haha. Look at him walking the red carpet, getting renown. Alright. Okay. I think it's a Crassus turn. There's a lot of things that could go wrong with a Crassus turn, but we'll put it to the test. If he's got removal and tricks and shenanigans, we gotta make him have it, right? Looming Spires. What are you targeting? You're targeting the bully. Okay, so we're not going to be blocking the bully, so we can be tapping the bully. And we got the Ember Hauler, so he's tapped out. It's too bad he had that Looming Spires, but we're going to do it. And maybe we can intimidate him into not attacking with Glory Chaser, but we know we can't block it. We're no fools. Mama didn't raise no fool. Pity the fool. More foo jokes. Yep, you got it. So we got a pretty good red player on a pretty good start, and we've got a pretty slow hand. Let's see if we can claw out of this one. Red isn't a great matchup for this deck, but if you get wide enough, it can be okay. Man. Like I said, if we get wide enough, so is that what I should be going for? Should I be sky spawning here? It's really tempting to go Lily. Lily's got the life links. But if I wait and draw another black, I can Lily Bone Splinters, but the odds of that are really low, because there's only so many black sources in the deck. And I don't want to play Husk on this board, so... yeah, it's Sky Spawner. That's the play. I think Lily will... I think we're going to try to draw out the Twin Bolts and the other noise of such, and at least try to make attacking more awkward and get really wide. We're going to try to get really wide. He's still got a handful of stuff, and if we play Lily into it, I think she just dies to various burn spells. If we can get like 2 other creatures on the board, then getting Husk out there is really good. But if you get it out there with just a Crassus, we end up in a situation where we have to sack Husk or sack Crassus, and it's nasty. But we're going to make him work for his money. Work for your living, because we're still at 17. And we're going to be committing a lot of stuff to the board. He's going to have to slog through it. And Bloodlust it is. And Bloodlust on Bully. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Is he going to bring the renown? He is. So Titan Strength would be pretty massive, but we've got to get that off the board. So I think we want to block like this. And he has auto blocking on, so that messes up with tight. Well, no, it doesn't. Ember Hauler, sure. That works too. I'm happy to. This trade's good. This is fine. Visionary Bone Splinters. I think that's good. A land would be nice. I want to keep the mana coming. Yeah, that's actually really, really ideal. Get you out of there. We know he can just play another creature and Bloodlust it. That's how Bloodlust works. But we have to at least keep him honest. Make him do it. So, blue, blue. I guess we need green. Blue, blue, black, black. Green? Yeah. Guess we need green. I like to sack my wilds right away while I know what I'm getting. I don't know how many times it's either missed the trigger on end step, or I've forgotten, or I fetched the wrong thing because I lost my train of thought. So that's why I do it that way. No apologies. Alright, Ember Hauler Bloodlust turn. Puts us at 13. Think that's fine. This will give us a chance to Whirler Rogue and then after Whirlarogue playing Husk, he'll probably be a very big dude, and then hopefully we can follow that with Lily, maybe Sky Spawner into Lily if we draw land along the way. I think it sets us up. So we're going to be wide, and he's going to have to deal. Just keep getting all that muscle on the board, all those dorks. Block our way out of this. Yep. Might have another Bloodlust. Okay. Commit that hand. Yeah, look at all these little guys. That's great. That's great. We can hopefully get in front of him. He hasn't had Titan Strength yet, so I'm not that worried about that. And we don't want to take the hit, but we don't want to kill it because we want to keep the Bloodlust there. And then we want to get wide and wider. Is it time for the Husk? I don't know. Is it time for the Visionary? No. But we can go Sky Spawner into Visionary. I like that. Just more guys. More guys. More cards, more guys. More guys, more cards. Alright. Cool. Yep, and our opponent also enjoys the more guys strategy. Where are my Perilous Mirrors at? They're supposed to be around for this type of matchup. That's it? Okay, cool. You can have this guy. Alright, so we've been throwing out lots of creatures. It's really tempting to just put out one of these Smothering Abominations and trade it off. It's the most power and toughness we can play this turn, but Husk is pretty good too. It's also really tempting to kill the Bully while we can. If Husk lives... But Husk isn't likely to live. He's probably going to attack with a lot of things. Well, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. But it is tempting to just play Smothering Abomination and put it in front of the Bully and make him deal with that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's do it like this. I think we'll need that Thopter. Let's save the Splinters, but that could be a mistake. But let's see. Pretty tricky. Well, pretty tricky. This is not a Steam Showdown deck. This is one of mine. I haven't played one of mine in a while. So there's our Bully getting the fist. And our opponent's all out of cards, so we need to start getting our cards on the table, because if we die here, it's going to be with cards in hand. So here come the critters. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. He can blow up any kind of gang block, so we still can't really do that, but we can do a little, let's see. Let's do it like so and see what happens. Come on. I'm getting so much lag. This is getting really unbearable. I get it every time I play now. Oh my gosh, if it screws up my blocks because of this, I'm going to be really unhappy. There we go. Come on, guys. Oh my gosh. Please. Oh, Jesus. Alright. Ever since they took the servers down for maintenance that one time, all my system does is lag every time I'm trying to make anything happen, and it's driving me a little nutty. It's like just when you thought the game couldn't get messier. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It didn't let me sacrifice anything. It didn't let me sacrifice anything. I don't think it let my opponent do it either. That's really horrible. Oh my goodness. Ah. Alright, well, this game just went to hell. And this is a stainless game, you know? This is on their programming. This isn't on the decks. It's not on me. It's on them. Please play my land. Oh my lord. I try to be pretty chill about this stuff, but it's becoming really bad, and it's just started in the last couple days. Alright. Please play my smothering abomination. Does that work? Nope. How about that? Jesus Christ. Jeez, oh Pete. So I can't do any kind of complicated blocking anymore. I can't do much of anything. Ugh. So, I would have definitely pumped on, let's see. Maybe it's okay. I mean, I meant to try to trade for the bully instead of try to trade for the, and I meant to see what he would do with his Inferno Fist, but I guess the trades aren't that bad. The blocks aren't absolutely abysmal, but man, this is getting frustrating. I mean, you see that pulsing Y? That's because I'm hitting Y, skip attack, and I'm doing it over and over and over and over, and the game is responding to nothing. And like I said, this has been happening a lot. It's really, really getting to me. And he's out, so now at least we won't get a lag game, but I'm sorry he had to leave. We were having a really good game, and he had to leave for it to continue. Here comes that bloodlust. Now, does he have another pump spell? Okay, you got it. AI says down with you, Whirler Rogue. Now, he should attack with the whole team. There you go. I'm going to trade over here. Or try to. And he's going to have a renowned critter again. And I need to draw some more token makers or some more go wide threats. Is he out of Bloodlust? It looks like he's out of Bloodlust, finally. So how many Bloodlust does he run? If he's running 3, this might be the Legend deck and can give me some insight, but it's got Inferno Fist, so it's not the Legend deck. So that's another land. That's bad. That's bad. So if I play this, he can't really attack into it without losing one of his creatures. I can play this in Bone Splinters and take out his Glory Chaser and draw a card. That might actually be the line. We need to draw into more action. And we know that Lily will be okay now, that she can do some blocking. There, that's great. Yep, that needed to happen. So from here, hopefully we can get Lily down and gain some life and push back on him. I love Abomination, and I know everybody loves Abomination, but you have to know where it's not at its best. And it's not at its best in this matchup, because you're too busy trading your resources to sacrifice them. Everything you put on the board usually has to be used. So just dumping your Abomination to trade it off with something that has an aura on it or something that's hard to deal with is probably the best use of all that power toughness. What we really want is Drowner of Hope. Here they come. Block, block, trigger, trigger. I think Mind Resolve? Yeah. Okay. So, let's see what he's got. Oh, he finally drew Titan Strength. Good for him. We'll still gain the 2 life, we'll still trade off. and there's no board. So that's, I mean, I'm not going to play around Titan Strength in that spot. I did consider it, but he had to draw it off the top. He did draw it off the top, but it still leaves us okay. Like, we're going to have the last critter standing here in our Sky Spawner. Standing tall all over this board of nonsense. And what does our AI friend get? A Looming Spires. Perfect. You can have that. I don't think there's anything else with haste other than Firebird to play around. As a one of, I'm not going to. I don't know if I'd want to chump it anyway. We have to start closing the game. We've done all the trading, and now we have to pay off. We have to take control. And we have to get this game over with before he draws double Firecraft. Another Spires. Perfect. We can't count on him drawing land for too much longer. He probably has less lands in the deck than we have, but we'll take it. Every land he hits is a dead draw. Every land we hit at this point is kind of a dead draw, but we have better late game uses for it than he does with Evolutionary Leap and some things like that. And now we're fine. Our opponent hit the land clump. We got just a couple spells instead of lands, and now that's magic. If he had a burn spell there, he needs to play it on his turn because I'll just pump Husk and then he'll take more damage. So at least make me sack my guys now, but maybe it's an aura. Alright. Should be game. Resolve. Offer lethal. Any burn? Nope. There we go. So, we grounded out and overcame the red menace. Needed the AI to intervene there because of these lag attacks that just keep happening. Alrighty. Let's see, what time is it, and do we do one more? We got 3 games in, and so I'll pull out the deck one more time. The innovation, if you want to call it that, is removing the carrier thralls and the blister pods, kind of the constant sack fodder, and instead getting in there, we've got Elvish Visionary, Sky Spawner, and we've got Bounding Crassus, and we've got Drowner of Hope, which I think is just a higher card quality overall. The deck is mostly black-blue. It requires double black and double blue, although it would prefer extra green for Evo Leap, and you like to have a green up when you're casting from beyond, and you don't want to get bottlenecked on green when you're playing Bounding Crassus. So we've got a whole bunch of duels trying to get our mana requirements to fit right. And feels pretty good, feels competitive, feels like it can kind of fit in and slide between playing control and playing aggro depending on the matchup, which is something that you really like, which basically makes it like a mid-range deck, but it's also kind of a combo deck. You can just whirl a rogue and Nantuko Husk kill people that tapped out of nowhere, so pretty cool stuff. Alright, I'm going to cut the video off, but don't run away. I'm going to come back. We're going to do a Steam Showdown deck. I just cut it off so I can send a video in its entirety over to YouTube, nice and easy peasy, and people can watch that if they want, and then they can watch the Steam Showdown stuff if they want. So, don't go nowhere. I'm coming right back.